If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. So 2 nights ago, that Kanye and Drake concert happened, and of course I got some stuff to say about this, because this honestly was one of the biggest things to happen in hip-hop, during that, the last couple of days, even though, Juice WRLD dropped, we got a new Rick Ross album, and I think through that maybe went a bit under the radar, at least it did for me. I didn't watch the whole thing live, but of course I went back. You can look it up on YouTube. The 2-hour show is available everywhere, basically. It was streamed on Amazon. They had exclusive rights to it. It took place in LA, as Kanye announced when he did that video with Jay Prince, to convince Drake to join him in this, joint effort with the, ultimate goal to free Larry Hoover Sr., obviously, which we got to see how that plays out, but they even released merch for it. They had the free Hoover t-shirts and jeans and stuff like that. I think you can even cop it. I think it's up for sale, which, if you want to walk around with the free Hoover shirt, then, go do you. I wouldn't do that. But let's get back to the show, because Drake agreed to do this, which was questionable after we saw that video with Kanye and Jay Prince. I speculated that he might not even respond to this, but obviously now he has. I think there was a lot of convincing from Jay Prince and, Larry Hoover Jr. involved in there to, convince Drake to get on the show with Kanye, but they did perform in this sold-out Coliseum in LA. In itself, it was an amazing show. The, set design was amazing, and just, the whole way the audience was seated in this Coliseum looked amazing. But then we got the performances from the two. We have Kanye on one side completely killing it, performing songs, not just from Donda, even though he said that he wanted to perform the 2 biggest albums of the year, so Donda and CLB, but Kanye performed from College Dropout all the way through Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, up to today, and he killed it. He didn't have any playback in the background. He sung and rapped every lyric on there from all the songs, all those legendary songs that we have from him, and he absolutely killed it with the performance. And then we got Drake on the other side, who was just like mid. And it's so funny when you look at articles or videos about this concert online, everybody's like, yo, this was amazing. But then there was Drake, because you can tell that people didn't really like Drake's performance. First of all, Drake only had, a limited time on there. Kanye performed most of the time, which was to be expected because Drake was obviously just a guest. So I didn't expect Drake to, do half of the show, even though, you kind of would have guessed that maybe if you just looked at the Drake and Kanye show that they both perform equal parts of it. But the problem wasn't that. The problem was really Drake's performance. He had playback in the background the whole time, which was louder than his own voice, so it felt really ingenuine. It felt like he didn't even try to lay down a great performance. The Kanye just did before him, so the contrast was like really high. And then also he just performed new songs. He basically performed Certified Lover Boy, and we don't know why. We don't know why Kanye went all the way back through his whole discography performing his best tracks, absolutely giving the people a great time. And then Drake just, comes on there and performs like Knife Talk right after Kanye performed Black Skinhead. Like that's just, the contrast of those two worlds is just so big that it just felt like Drake didn't even try. And there are a couple of theories. I've heard this. You can also go check out Hello Yassin's video on this. He did a great video on this talking about the different theories why Drake might have done this. One of them is that Drake is looking to plan a CLB tour, and he wanted to see how the audience would react to the CLB tracks, because obviously he hasn't had the chance to perform them since CLB dropped, and opinions were very mixed on the album. So now he wanted to see how the crowd would react, because he's planning to do a tour on it. Another theory is that he didn't see Kanye's set list beforehand, but then again, the argument against that is that at the end, both of them performed Forever together, so Drake had to be in on what Kanye was gonna perform. And I mean, if you see
that Kanye is performing I Wonder, Runaway, Black Skinhead, Touch the Sky, and Drake comes through with like Girls Want Girls or like Wants and Needs. It just feels weird, because obviously those are great songs, and if you went to a Drake show when he performed those, you would be completely okay with it, because probably you were expecting that. But the contrast between the two was just so big that Drake's parts just seemed so ingenuine, just seemed so like he didn't care, and maybe he didn't. Maybe he just was convinced to do this performance without actually caring about it. And then, the intentions were not that pure, just like I was talking about in that other video I made on this. Because in the past I talked about, the intentions behind this. Maybe Drake just agrees to do it because he has some marketing plan in the background, just wants to get some more attention. I also accuse Kanye of doing this, but after seeing his great performance now, that's completely off the table, because Kanye just went on there, killed it. You gotta rewatch the show. Kanye really performed one of his best shows that night. But then back to Drake. Honestly, it does seem like it was just all part of a bigger plan. He wanted to test out the waters with the CLB tour, wanted to see how people might react to him performing this new album that people were obviously very divided on, because Donda was obviously the better album, but that's a whole nother discussion we can have in the comments and on the Discord. But that's my theory. That's the theory that I have, that Drake agreed to do this performance because he wanted to, he had something in the back of his mind. He had some intention to then again gain something out of that in the end. And to me, for a show that was meant to free a person like Larry Hoover, who has been notoriously defended in hip-hop, and for his freeing has been talked about in a lot of ways in hip-hop already. Kanye made some efforts, Drake even made some efforts a couple of years back, for that to just then go under because he's performing these mid songs that he doesn't even know people already like. That just seemed very ingenuine and very off. So my summary for this whole show is that Kanye completely killed it, and if I was in LA, I would have definitely gone to see Kanye perform. But then there was Drake, who kind of pulled the whole thing down from the level that it was on. He just killed it in a negative sense. He killed the vibe of it by performing those weak songs after Kanye just performed timeless classics of his discography and rapped every word and sung every word, and Drake was just lazily, every second line maybe he was rapping. So yeah, that's my complete summary on this. Now, of course, I want to know what you think about this. What do you think of the show? What do you think of the fact that Drake now agreed to do this? How do you think the two performances compare, Kanye versus Drake? Do you think Drake was aware that Kanye was going to perform those songs and just didn't know that he had to be on par with that as well? Do you think Kanye kind of saw this as like an unofficial versus battle and just wanted to completely destroy Drake? And if he wanted to, that definitely worked. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.